Welcome back, Unpeelers, to the second episode of the Unpeeled podcast. I'm Sarah Rappoport.
And I'm Naggar. Today we've got all the best, all the coolest news in entertainment and Hollywood for you. And I think we're going to start out with Wakanda Forever. So we wanted to talk about first, Sarah?
Yeah, so I love the Marvel movies. I mean, I think I got into it because my brother started forcing me to watch them with him, but I mean, it's kind of a good thing. I like watching all the movies. I think during quarantine, I watched all the movies in chronological order.
I did the same thing, actually.
Yeah.
The summer of 2021, so it was after quarantine, but we watched like all of them. It was great.
Yeah.
So with Wakanda Forever, I read a little bit about their expected box office because the first one was a big, big hit. I don't think they expected it to make as much money as it did. It made $202 million between Friday and Sunday of its opening weekend. So experts are forecasting a similar opening weekend for the sequel.
Wow.
Are you excited for it? Did you like the first one?
Yeah, no, I really did. I just thought it was really well done, and I'm interested to see what they do, especially with the transition because of Chadwick Boseman. So, but I think they'll do a great job with it.
I think they will too. Speaking of the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman, one of the questions on everyone's minds has been, who is the new Black Panther? Trailer footage has suggested that it might be Shuri because the new Black Panther costume has the same markings on the forehead that Shuri typically has. But from what I've heard, the studio might not want to work so closely with her, given some recent controversies. Did you hear about those?
I've not, no.
So the actress Letitia Wright has expressed some anti-vax sentiments since the beginning of the pandemic, and I think they had some production issues working with her because her vaccine status with the COVID vaccine wasn't totally known. She tweeted a couple times saying that she was skeptical of the COVID vaccine, what was in it. So I was thinking that since she's so difficult to work with, Marvel may have made the choice not to hand her the mantle of the Black Panther. Cast members have also hinted that audiences haven't guessed who the new Black Panther is.
Yeah.
So I'll be surprised if it's, honestly, I have no clue who it'll be. The Shuri thing seems likely, but because of Letitia Wright's controversies, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know, especially since Marvel is under Disney, I know Disney usually is very careful about those things.
Yes.
Then again, though, just because they say people haven't guessed it doesn't mean that they actually haven't.
Right. It's like they're pulling an Andrew Garfield with the No Way Home surprise.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm not in that movie. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Something else I'm really excited for, Stranger Things.
Yes.
The final season. Season 5 will be eventually coming out. I know that Millie Bobby Brown, she just had the release of the Enola Holmes 2.
Yes,
so she was on Jimmy Fallon, and Noah Schnapp came on, which is always great. Love seeing them in their press tours together. But the title of the first episode's actually been released. It's called Chapter 1, The Crawl.
The Crawl.
Yeah.
Appropriately creepy, I think.
Yeah.
I like that they're leaning a little bit more into the horror. Don't get me wrong, I love that nostalgia, just creepy, mysterious feeling of the first season, but I like that they're leaning hard into the horror because, as these seasons go on, it's important to keep building the stakes. I think a lot of shows miss out on that because they just keep getting renewed for new seasons as cash cows, and Stranger Things is a huge cash cow. But I like that the creatives here are really making these good decisions to keep building and building, and this is going to be the climactic season.
Yeah, no, I think definitely as the seasons have gone on, they definitely have, bigger budget. Bigger budget means better CGI. And I remember when it first came out, I actually didn't watch Stranger Things until this past summer.
Really?
I was staying with my cousin in Israel, and she's obsessed with it, and she's like, the second part of season 4 had just come out, and she was like, oh, we need to watch it together, and I was like, I don't really know, and I think I watched the whole show within
That's awesome.
a few weeks. Because when I was younger, I'm a big scaredy cat. I was scared to watch it, but then looking at it now, watching from season 1 to season 4, I was like, season 1 was just not scary at all.
It's not scary. No.
There was nothing to be scared of.
It's a fun creepy.
Yeah,
it's
a
not
fun
scary,
creepy. And looking back to see how young the actors and actresses were when the show started to how they are now. It's like you're growing up with the characters, and I heard that some people are, the Duffer Brothers have kind of hinted at the fact that the season's going to be shorter, so I wonder if that means that the episodes are going to be longer.
Yeah, because we had a couple episodes in season 4 that wrote like feature-length films.
Yeah.
I actually saw for Stranger Things Day this past weekend, they did theatrical showings of the season 4 volume 2, those last 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes sense because I think the last one was like 2 hours long,
yeah.
wasn't it? That one was, I remember I was actually on a plane watching that one, and I was like, okay, this is good. I have a long flight and I have like a lot of Stranger Things content here to watch.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of shows have started doing that, like making the episodes longer, and I miss my, nice like 22 episode, 40-minute seasons. I just started watching, I love Criminal Minds, that's a great one. I just started watching, oh my god, wait, why'd I forget what I started watching? It's also about like creepy stuff. Supernatural.
Supernatural. I was just going to say Supernatural.
And I think I'm on and I feel bad. I'm bad with names though. I'm on season 2. But yeah, I just like those long shows. It's just it's more fun to watch.
Yeah, there seems to be a trend going towards shorter shows though. Like with the MCU shows on Disney Plus, we've had mostly 6-episode confined stories. I think WandaVision was longer and She-Hulk was definitely longer. Most of them have been around 6 episodes though. The Stranger Things seasons seem to be shorter, and the new Percy Jackson series that's going to come out on Disney Plus is, I believe, 6 episodes. So that'll be interesting. I think they're going to take the story of the Lightning Thief and chop it up into six pieces. I'd like to see how they do that. I'm curious what's going to happen in what episode.
Yeah, no, I think that's, it's always good when they take, I feel like a series it's better to, me personally, I like it when it's broken down into, a TV series rather than a movie, because I feel like you're able to dive deeper into the characters, and often that leads to a more accurate portrayal, compared to the books.
Yeah, the books tend to be adapted better as TV shows, I think. Just from my experience, the Harry Potter movies are an exception because those were really, really accurate to the books. They did a great job with those, and I think that was partly because J.K. Rowling was so involved with the creative process behind the movies. But the shows seem to be a better way to adapt books, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah,
for sure. I know that some of the cast has been announced, recently, Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think he's always an interesting casting choice. I think people are going to be like, oh, Lin-Manuel Miranda, but even if maybe they're not watching it to praise him, I think that it'll definitely bring in an audience to watch the show, to maybe find opportunities to make fun of him.
It would be really good for the show to find an audience beyond just the book loyalists, because our generation of kids are really the Percy Jackson kids that are super fans of the show, of the books, but they're going to have to expand into some other audiences, and having Lin-Manuel Miranda there will probably pull in some new audiences.
Yeah.
He's joining some other casted gods. I don't think they've casted all the gods of Olympus yet, but they've casted Adam Copeland as Ares, the god of war, and Jason Mantzoukas, I think is how you say his last name, sorry for messing that up, as Dionysus, the god of wine, who, if you remember in the book, has been banished from Olympus to spend time on Camp Half-Blood with the demigods.
Yeah. Again, this was I love just, childhood books becoming movies. I know that there was recently, I guess maybe this is a little older than the Percy Jackson, but they just finished filming that new Hunger Games movie too.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that too. I'm gonna have to read the book before that comes out, because I like reading the books first. But if I have the date right, the movie will come out almost exactly a year from now, in November of 2023. So that's exciting. That's
something to look forward to. Going back to Percy Jackson and the cast, I know that I've seen some press tour clips from the kids. Walker Scobell.
I think Scoble, I'm not sure.
Scoble, he's up on the rise. Maybe the new child actor star of the generation.
Yeah, so I was looking at his IMDb earlier, and it looks like I think he's only done 2 movies. And one was with Ryan Reynolds, and one was with Owen Wilson. So I don't know how they discovered this kid, and he suddenly got such big roles. But good for him, because he seems like he's a great actor. You showed me before we started recording his mac and cheese commercial with Ryan Reynolds, which was really funny. He's a great actor, and I know that author Rick Riordan has said that he really captures Percy's comedic timing, which is one of the most fundamental parts of the book, let's be honest, is Percy's sense of humor.
Yeah, I think,
so he's a great choice.
He's younger, he's the right age, and I think so many shows in general, not even just adaptations, they make the actors so much older than the age of the characters they're playing, and I think that by making him younger, that'll make his portrayal of Percy a lot better as well.
It'll be great because I know that Rick Riordan had a lot of problems with the movie adaptations of the books because he handed off the creative control of those, and then all of a sudden you had a story that wasn't based around these kids on an adventure anymore. They were aged up to like 16 or 17, and it was meant to be like a high school drama with lots of tension that you shouldn't really see in an adaptation of a kid's story. You know what I mean? They really did not do those books a good service with those movies.
Yeah. I know that. I've seen a good example of this is with, and I guess this is another adaptation, Series of Unfortunate Events. I don't know if you ever read those books.
I didn't. I think I've seen parts of the movie, not the whole thing.
So I think it's like a very similar instance in this that, you know, it's a book series. They made like one movie, or I guess Percy Jackson had multiple, but they made like
Two,
they made a movie, and the movie just did not go the best, and then Netflix picks it up for a TV series, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, the TV shows seem to be a good way to adapt these two because they're more writer driven than director driven. Like the writers come on to write the TV show, and then they have more control of the TV show rather than a director like in a theatrical release. So I think that's like a really good way to adapt books, and that's going to be a trend going forward. Speaking of the books, though, I do want to mention that there's actually a new Percy Jackson book coming out, which, like, I couldn't believe it when I saw that post. I was like, no way. I didn't think we would ever get that. But it's going to be the 6th installment in the original Percy Jackson set of books. So not the Heroes of Olympus, but Percy Jackson and the Olympians, where it'll be told through his first-person point of view. And it's coming out next fall. It'll be set right after the last Olympiad, but before the Blood of Olympus, so before the unfortunate memory wipe you couldn't really call it kidnapping, but when Percy gets sent over to California. Yeah,
so, I mean, I'm sure it's not coincidental that all this is happening at the same time, I'm sure, especially with Rick Riordan on the project. You know?
Yeah, I saw that he was, I think he made a deal with the studio where he was like, look, I can get you guys some more press for the show if I release another book, and I've had this idea for a while. I guess he's wanted to do it for a while. He said that it's meant to be kind of a fun reunion with the characters and like a day in the life of a demigod, because it'll follow Percy Jackson trying to get letters of recommendation for college from the Greek gods. So I think he's going to be running some errands for them, trying to win their favor. So it won't be like this big, high stakes, saving the world kind of book. It'll be a shorter adventure and a reunion with the characters, which I'm really excited for because it's been like almost 10 years since we've seen these characters.
Yeah. No, I think, again, like following that, growing up with us, like with the Stranger Things, I think that this is great because, you know, like a lot of the people who read the Percy Jackson series are either applying for colleges or in colleges.
Yeah, I remember thinking when I was applying it to school, it was because every like year or so I would like reread, not the whole thing, but like parts of the books, or I would look back at them and I'd have like a week where I was obsessed with them again, and then I'd move on. And I was sad when I was applying to college because I was like, I'm older than all my childhood heroes now, you know, like Percy Jackson and Harry Potter, and I don't remember what exactly Katniss Everdeen's age is, but it's around there. And all the young adult protagonists, I was older than all of them, and I was like, who are my role models now? You know, I have no one to like look at and be like, wow, that's so cool. I hope I can be as cool as them one day.
Yeah.
You know, so it's gonna be nice to reunite with them, even though they're still younger than us. It's a new adaptation, so that'll be nice.
Oh yeah, I know as a child, like not only did I like to read books, I loved watching TV shows. You know, like I know I loved watching the shows on Disney Channel. I loved on Nickelodeon. I remember in the commercial breaks on the Nickelodeon shows, I don't remember this, they'd have the little like MTV guest things that Nick Cannon hosted. Those were always really fun.
Oh, did he? So I'm not super familiar with those, but you had some news about Nick Cannon you wanted to share, right?
Yeah, surprise, surprise, Nick Cannon is going to have his 11th child, or maybe it is 12 now. I know that two of the women are pregnant. But I know that one specifically, Alyssa Scott, she just posted on Instagram a lot of like, they had a maternity shoot type thing. So that should be interesting. Yeah, he...
11 kids, that's
11
a lot.
Kids.
That is a lot of kids.
He says he loves it. But you know what? I mean, I'm not gonna. Hopefully he's a good father.
I hope so.
I know that. I mean, 11 again, like 11 kids. That's. But
That's
I know
a
that
lot. You have to have a
Rebel
lot of
Wilson,
patience.
she just had a kid.
Oh,
via
okay.
surrogate. Yeah.
What's her name? The kid.
The kid's name is Royce Lillian, and
Nice.
so it's unknown whether her fiance Ramona Agruma is involved in if they're going to be raising the kid together,
Okay.
if the daughter is just under Rebel, but she did comment some little hearts on her Instagram post, so
that's
hopefully that's a
sweet.
good sign.
That's sweet. Cool. I'll be looking forward to hearing some more about that as some more news comes out from them.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Rebel Wilson, I mean, many people know her, Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect, such an iconic character. Speaking of Pitch Perfect, I know I'm really excited about it. Peacock is going to have a series coming out on November 23rd, Bumper in Berlin.
Oh, November 23rd of this year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really soon.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Adam Devine's character, Bumper, his song goes viral on TikTok. I know
Cool.
I watched the trailer. His song went viral on TikTok. And then one of the guys from the Sound Machines, the German group, calls him up and he's like, oh, your song is blowing up, come to Germany. So he does, and it's him trying to handle fame and stuff. And I know that Sarah Hyland is also
cool.
going to be a part of that. And a lot of people are excited. Me personally, I mean, I don't know if you watched Modern Family
I don't think I
growing
have,
up,
no.
but they're both kind of like Andy and Haley, or their characters in Modern Family, and they were love interests for a bit, but it didn't work out. So a lot of those fans are happy to possibly see something happen between Bumper and this new Highland character.
Cool. That's really exciting. I'm gonna have to catch up on the Pitch Perfect movies before I watch that, though. Is this a sequel? This show is acting as a sequel?
So it's going to take place after the third movie.
Okay. All right. I have a lot of movies to watch then. A lot of
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect I have to watch. I'll
Yeah.
have to go back and see those. I think that's all we had for today, right?
Yeah. Be sure to check out Unpeeled's live shows on Orange Television Network Wednesdays at 8 p.m.